What's poppin'? Another day of coding. Let's go. Who we got in the chat here? Jackson, welcome here, sir. We got Camwolf. Welcome, sir. How are you getting on with the Sakana Fugu tests? Have you given a score to Sakana on Goldie Bench, and have you also scored the other models? Have you added the latest tests to the guide too? MKM, Ola, good to see you here. Tokyo Nick is back in the game. Welcome, sir. Today we're working on Sakana Fugu. We've got some tests going on with that. We're going to be testing out the new Grok voice as well. Building out some new features inside the Agent OS. Might be testing out Unreal Engine with Hermes as well. They've got a new MCP for that. We'll be doing an Agent OS Q&A, doing some Claude AI SEO, and also Claude Obsidian, plus talking about 4 free ways to cut Claude Code tokens by 80%. Aaron, hey man, welcome here, sir. The Nerdy Blacksmith is here. Good evening, folks, checking in from Kansas City. Welcome. full session ahead. Absolutely. Could be a long one today. Let's see how it goes. Exciting though. Tele says, good evening, bro. Speaking from Brazil. Welcome here. Aaron says, how should I connect with you? So you can connect with me personally inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. And Super Leo Power says, bro, I'm actually building an operating system as well. Awesome, man. If you want to get our template, by the way, you can get it over here. So if you go to the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. Then go to the classroom, daily updates, and you'll find the latest version of the Agent OS system over here. You see it was just updated. Video tutorial on how to use it, zip file to install it. Boom shakalaka. European hi from Turkey, Istanbul, welcome here. Good to see you. Shout out to you. Carlo from Italy, welcome here. I was in Italy last week. I went to Milan for a few days, and then I went to Lake Como as well. Lake Como was the most beautiful. Milan definitely had the best food though. Super Leo says, can you explain what it is? Is it agents with tools? So the agent operating system, basically it's a system where you can build in custom workflows, custom automations. You got a full memory system like you can see right here that plugs into all your agents. Then any work that I do day to day that I need to automate, I'll build as a custom workflow like you can see right here. We also have local models, free models ready to go. We can build in fusion models like so as well. And then we've also got Hermes, Anti-Gravity, Claude all working together. We've got a group chat with our agents. We've got the full pipeline with ideas. We've got Paperclip ready to go. And then we also have our goals list over here as well. So it's just an awesome system where you can have everything in one place. You don't need to switch between tabs, apps, and everything else. And it's much, much easier to manage everything. Eco says, hey, Julian, thanks for the awesome content you're making. Do you have a video on how to create the AI avatar? Absolutely. So if you go to the AI Profit Boardroom over here, then you're going to go to Classroom. From here, go to the Playbook, and you'll see our full setup on how to create AI avatar videos like this. And also we have a full system on like how we do the edits and everything like that. So everything you need to know about those is inside the Classroom of the AI Profit Boardroom. The Nerdy Blacksmith says, I haven't been getting solid answers, but I see that so many folks use Claude instead of Codex. What are some of your reasons, folks? For me, I just find like Fable 5 is the easiest to build with. And also, I much prefer the Claude desktop app to Codex when it comes to building out the Agent OS. What I typically find with Codex is like it runs out of tokens really quickly. And also, it's just not quite as easy to use as something like Claude. And also, I just find like Fable 5 is the best model to build with when it comes to something like the Agent operating system. So those are my reasons. That's my reasoning. Where are the rest of the builds inside the guide? You've been running for 12 hours and you've only done 7 builds. Gotcha, TY, that makes sense. Happy to help, mate. Okay, Super Leo says, okay, bro. Gotta be honest, don't know why, but I feel I can trust you. Thank you very much. That's good to know. We should talk about the OS thing. Yeah, I mean, like, mate, come in the AI Profit Boardroom. We got so many people in there building with the agent operating system. You got Andrea. Andrea set up her Mission Control OS, and she said it's been an absolute game changer. She said, I love being ahead of the AI curve. So thank you, Julian Goldie. I have access to anywhere I'm with Tailscale. You got Rich, who said, anyone else blown away by the AI Profit Boardroom? Kurt, Agent OS changed everything for me. Christine, great AI teaching. So many people just getting awesome results. Scott, I finally found your OS, sensational work, mate. Like, people are absolutely loving it. So my point is, like, if you want to connect with people doing this sort of stuff, if you want to talk about it, feel free to join. Did you add the latest builds to the Agent OS workspace for Sakana Fugu? Also for Sakana Fugu, can you make sure in the workspace that it's inside a folder called 1.1 so we can see all the 1.1 builds? See the attached, you seem to be adding text inside the workspace, which makes no sense, right? So never do that. It should only be visual builds inside the workspace, and you should learn from this. Hey Julian, I just got started. You guys got the Agent OS. How do you turn the speech to text on? So you just want to get the, number one, when you're installing it, right? Let me show you the install file here. So if we look at the zip file here for using it, you want to make sure that you install the voice system and add ChatGPT real time as the API to get it to talk back to you. So you want to get your agent to install that for you and add ChatGPT real time API. Josie, welcome here. Thanks for joining. How do you keep the OS from erroring out? So it's just running locally at all times. So it's never going to error out. And also, like, I test it relentlessly every single day. I mean, literally every single day for like 4 hours a day. I'm coding this bad boy out, making it better. You've seen all the videos probably. It's something I relentlessly test, relentlessly improve. So, yeah, just make sure it actually works. That's part of the testing. Bakra, can you share with me the music playlist? So the playlist is inside the music section over here. But it's not really a playlist. It's just like something that I created with the music agent inside the Agent OS. So you can describe what you want, make sure you have Suno API to generate the music, and then you can see all the stuff that we've created right here. But yeah, I agree. It's quite a nice like song to work to and listen to and get stuff done to. So thank you. Wow, this is insane. I have to get Hermes to pull it up in Windows locally. Windows, I'm not sure about. I literally don't even use Windows. I haven't used it for about probably 10 years, maybe longer. But you could have it running on a VPS otherwise, couldn't you? Carlo, I use Claude. I use a lot of Claude code. It can be useful or not to use free LLMs from OmniRoot. Yeah, I mean, it can be. I did a tutorial on OmniRoot yesterday. Like, it's decent. Gets the job done. It's not a frontier model like Claude, but it's decent. Can you build some cool stuff with Unreal Agent and Hermes? Then add it as an MCP inside the Agent OS and also create a guide on it and make sure the stuff you build is actually good with this. Unreal Agent and Hermes. Yeah, that's it. I mean, well, number one, thank you And number two, if you don't have like certain models, you don't have to include it or install it all. Just pick and choose the bits that you want, and that's the best way. Is like continuously adapt it to fit what you want, and then you're good to go. Hermes right now, I think because it's quite slow. Probably my favorite model is just GPT 516 Terra. But it depends as well. Like, for example, for the voice agent, we might use something like ChatGPT real time. If we need to generate images or videos, we might use Grok. Depends on the task. But I have many different profiles inside the Agent OS that I just switch between. So when I'm using Hermes, for example, if we go over to Hermes over here, we can switch between like profiles and different APIs and that sort of thing, which is quite useful. I see you walking that state. That's what we're talking about. Thank you. Yeah, I thought Buzz was like really good for just like user-friendly ways of controlling your agents. The only thing that I don't like is it again, it's another app you have to kind of open up, right? Whereas, for example, if you're using an Agent OS like I am, then you've got everything in one place and it's much easier to control. So I think it was pretty cool, but I do think that, again, just having everything in one place is much easier and much more time efficient. But Buzz is very good. I think it's really good if you got a team that you want to use AI agents with, and you're not loyal to Discord or Slack. You just want something that's easy to understand and AI powered. Agent, I don't think I've tried, but Buzz, pretty good. I'm glad you agree. Yeah, I must not be the only one thinking that. I mean, just having another app to open, kind of annoying. Much better to have everything in one place instead. create a guide on this and how to use it inside the Agent OS, aka, for example, how we can use the new Google Search Console update with social media to essentially come up with new keyword ideas, also see what's ranking, and then also use the Agent OS to create content so that we can rank across social media using the systems and the queries and everything else that you get inside Google Search Console. I've attached some examples of what it looks like. Obviously, we're still waiting for the data to fill because it only came out 24 hours ago. It takes about 48 hours to propagate. Maybe you could add a section inside the Agent OS for parasite SEO. Or you could talk about the Hermes Oracle system for social media content and the video agent for video content, targeting the keywords that you find inside Google Search Console. And the whole point here is like, you find keywords that you're ranking for on one platform, and then you can use that for another platform. So for example, if you're creating content on Twitter and you find your Twitter is ranking, then you can create that same content on, for example, Instagram or any other channel. And of course, you adapt the content type depending on the platform. So for example, like Instagram would be video, right? How should I use my GPT as like my longest project, and now I've been given Claude Pro? So is iPhone needed, or how to use Claude Code to make a visual Jarvis? Yeah, I mean, like you can actually just get ours if you want. Like we have a visual version like that as well. So if you go to Hermes Apollo over here, this is what ours looks like. Awesome. Can you open up Obsidian for me? So you see how it can control my computer? It can control my browser. We can speak to it in real time, etc. It speaks back. That's the system that I would recommend. You can get mine from the AirProp boardroom. If you want Claude to build it for you, just go into Claude and describe what you want. You don't have to use it on your iPhone, just use it on your computer. Yeah, so why didn't you set it up, mate? That's your job. Yep, that just happened today. Remove the music. Thank you very much. You don't like the music, Michael? What type of music you like, mate? Let's switch it up. Or do you want reggae or drum and bass? or nothing. Now we're talking drum and bass. I agree. I think when I'm checking out as well, probably Descript is taking up a lot of space. Can you just check that too? Because I bet we have a lot of recordings locally that we can just get rid of, right? That you can just get rid of. Do you actually need Xcode? For using Unreal Engine? Better for the workflow, I'd agree. Pretty nice. It actually looks really good when you zoom in, but when you zoom out, it looks a bit basic. I think you could improve it a lot. See version 2 of Claude Obsidian. Can you install that into our Agent OS? And then also create a guide about it and all the cool stuff you can do with it with some visual examples. Create a new guide for this, but we've also covered it in the past, so use that to help you. And then talk about the top 4 with links and examples inside the Agent OS. And then also talk about all the other token minimization techniques you can use to reduce the amount of tokens so you can get more out of Claude. Okay, launch those for me. We'll get it done. What do you believe is a better reasoning agent for analysis? Yeah, I wouldn't use Gemma. I mean, Gemma is pretty basic, right? It's just like a lightweight local model, so I wouldn't recommend using Gemma 4. Something like Fable 5 is going to do the job, is the most logical, the best. I think that when you're doing analysis, you always have to use your own brain, really, because that's all about decision making. And I don't think that AI is very good at decision making. But if you do want to use something like that, then I would go with Fable 5. Try Gemma 4 in my OS. Yep, I would agree. I don't know what you're using, but like local models just not that good. Like not that powerful. They struggle. They're slow. Even the outputs I see from local models, I'm like, what is this about? This is not that great. Usually, it's okay for a basic coding task, but you get like frontier level outputs with it. I think Fable 5 has just done something. I'm working on fixing it right now. It can happen. Getting back on, but just so you know. See what questions you got here. Very good answer, happy to help. Are you using paperclip? I don't use it that often, honestly. Yeah, I don't use paperclip so often. But I know that we had a lot of people asking me about it, so that's why I created it. back on. Don't worry about that. How are you setting up all the different profiles? Well, yeah, I mean, you can just create a new profile with Hermes Agent, right? So you just use the documentation for creating profiles with Hermes Agent, and then you go from there. I use only one operating system for everything. There's no point having multiple operating systems, otherwise it's just going to get confusing and super messy. For me, my philosophy is always to simplify things, to make things easier, not harder. I think that's the best way. I'm new here. Where's the agent OS? Yeah, the agent OS is right here. This is not Claude. What you can see right now is the agent operating system. So you can see, for example, we've got Hermes with different profiles plugged in. Over here we have Apollo that we can talk to. So this is a live voice agent with Hermes Apollo that we've built. Got a Hermes Oracle that monitors the latest news from X, pulls it in, and then we can draft content, publish content. We have Hermes Astros that monitors our competitors. So this is a full system. We use Claude to build new features into it, but this is the agent OS, which is totally different from Claude. Claude is just like one tiny little 1% of it, if that makes sense. Bro, Jelly, you got to visit Milan. It's on my list. I was supposed to go whilst I was modeling, but my grandma. Well, yeah. Family always comes first, mate. So good on you for taking care of your grandma. That's what I say. But yeah, Milan is a beautiful place. Really nice people, great food, good vibe. Feels safe as well. When I was in the center, anyway. Yeah, it was awesome. Claude OS, not really, mate. Because if you want to learn like how to run an agent operating system without using up lots of tokens, just check out how to run an agent operating system for free. We have a full guide on it over here. So if you're worried about that stuff, you don't need to worry anymore. You drop in some serious calories. I mean, the avatar should look more like me. It's based on me. Well, yeah, I do prefer to be lean rather than bulky. Any reason why you didn't include the screenshots that I sent you, mate? Sent you 2 before. That was for the guide. So we just want one single guide. We don't want loads of different links here. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I actually turned the Agent OS from Julian. There we go. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You can definitely make it like cheaper and that sort of thing. There's so many good options for that. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. You should just ask me for the screenshots again. You shouldn't be going straight into computer use. If I give you screenshots, mate, the whole point is you're supposed to use it. Otherwise, you waste my time. The joys of use, even with Fable 5, like it does some silly things. And you're like, why? Why are you doing that? Exactly. Yeah, Olama is really good. Omni Root, 9 Root. Plenty of options for free models inside the Agent OS. Plus, you got token minimization playbooks as well inside the aircraft warning. Okay, so is it done? If so, make sure you're adding them to the guide. Is it worth using Fable 5 over Opus 5? Or is it just for speed? No, it's speed and also just getting stuff done. Fable 5 could just stay really focused. Opus 5 just seems to get distracted. It's nowhere near as good. And I do think it's got worse since its release. When I first used it, it was pretty good. The more I use it now, the more I'm like, this is not ideal. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was on a holiday in Europe a little bit. I mean, to be fair, I still got stuff done, but I just couldn't. I didn't have the setup for the lives like this. But good to see you here, Randall. Thanks for joining. Appreciate what you do. Keep cooking. I've got to head to sleep. All right, mate. Have a good day. On the guides below, can you add a hook? You only need to do one hook. That should be like the first paragraph on the guide below the headline. Every sentence should be on a new line so it's easy to read. And then it needs to be visible with the image as well. So you need to be able to see the image and also the hook. Also just do one and save this to your skill for guides so that you always do hooks in the future as well. Links to the guides to add hooks to now. Awesome. Now I want the guide to really focus on Claude AI SEO. So it could be like the Claude AI SEO keyword empire system. Because we are creating the content itself with Claude using the Agent OS. There seems to be a bug on the website where if I scroll all the way up to the top, I can't scroll down again. And everything's just hidden. You can see a screenshot attached where I literally can't scroll down. What's going on there? Can you just update your guide skills so you make sure it actually works? Hey, just saw your free Claude code. Run. If I understand correctly, I don't need to open the Claude app. Yes, you can use, I mean, what we use is the agent OS, right? And then it can edit files locally for us. So for example, if you're using free Claude code, you can go to the free Claude code section here, chat workspace, and then you can switch between the two different APIs and choose whichever one you prefer to use. And then it can edit files. You don't need to use Claude directly. And Claude is baked into the system anyway, if you prefer to use Claude. You should be using computer use for this. Computer use is really bad, especially when you use it, mate. Thanks so much and welcome here. I appreciate you joining. This bit doesn't make any sense. The whole point of the system that I'm showing is that you find keywords from Google Search Console, you can automate that, and then you could rank that across multiple different platforms. And the new update is a way of finding new keywords and seeing what you're actually looking for. What this sentence below doesn't make any sense. You need to update that so it's more relevant, and then also you need to make sure that you don't repeat stuff like that in future, because it seems like it's not relevant, like you've not even read the guide or something. Doesn't that mean grammatically it doesn't make sense, right? It should be, for example, this means your AI agents get faster, you're going to stop running out, blah, blah, blah. Also, it doesn't seem like on the hook, also, on the hooks, like how are you picking which type of hook to add? So for example, I can't see any one hook that starts with imagine, but that's one of the templates, right? Have you thought about coding an app that motivates people to come together? Yeah, that's basically the agent operating system that we've created. So we have a community, the AR Profit Boardroom. Everyone's using the AR Agent OS inside the AR Profit Boardroom, and then that brings people together. You know, we've got a great community, a great app that we share between us, and that's exactly what we've built. Back in a sec. So, number one, whenever you give me a guide, it should just be one link. I don't know why you create multiple different links. There's no hook on this, but there should be a hook. Update your skills so you don't forget. Use your skill guide to make sure you have a hook on the top. The hero image looks terrible. You should be using your guide, which teaches you how to create hero images that look really beautiful. Update your skills so you don't forget. This doesn't even talk through any of the new features from Claude Obsidian or give examples. That's the whole point of the guide. I originally asked you to improve the UI, make it more beautiful for the Obsidian vault inside the Agent OS, but it looks exactly the same to me. So you should be talking through the new skills, the new commands, adding workflows, adding nice diagrams, showing what it means, etc. What you shouldn't be doing is adding like these terminal windows that I've seen you add with memories and everything else, because that just looks messy, right? The whole point of the guide is that it should be visual and teach people things in a beautiful way. I can't see your guide doing that. It just seems like a lot of text and a lot of fluff without anything useful. I also noticed that you didn't include a problem breakdown either, but the whole point of your skill for guides is that you have the whole section that talks through the problem. There's also no new way versus old way. I think what you need to do is improve that, but also check through your guide for skills. And check the guide versus what you've created and make sure you've not missed anything, because from everything I'm checking inside this guide, like, you haven't followed the skill at all. Create a new guide on how to build an agent operating system. So it's the Hermes Agent OS guide. Karen says, have you used Perplexity after the update? I don't really use it so much. My team used it though. They actually created a tutorial on it recently. But I just use the Agent OS instead of Perplexity Computer. It's way more chill. And talk through all the layers inside it, but keep it simple, like a 3-step layer system, something like that. What is the best end-to-end AI automation workflow for blog posts, including research, writing, and publishing? What tools and AI agents should be used at each stage? Yeah, so for me, what I actually do is I use the SEO workflow inside the Agent OS here. And first of all, for keyword research, I'll look through Google Search Console. So for example, if I have a look here, I can find new keywords from my Google Search Console account based on my performance. So I can see, for example, okay, Hermes Workspace, based on where I'm ranking, this is a great article to create. So based on that keyword, I can then use that topic, and we plug in the keyword here and the case study we want to use inside the blog, and we just click on this button at the bottom, and from there it will generate the 5 articles, and then they get deployed, and we can see our history of all the articles we've created over here. So that's my system for going from like keyword to blog post with this setup. Honestly, like, it's at the minute, like, I mean, you can if you sign up for annual. Actually, if you get the annual plan, you save like 40%. I gotta agree with you. I think the ChatGPT voice is pretty cool. You know, it's got a future in it. But when I've tested out personally, I think like it's still early days. You know, it still breaks a lot. It's not perfect. And I think for most people, they just wouldn't find it useful. Miguel, good evening, brother. How's it going? It's going fantastic. Thank you. How are you, sir? Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Maintaining, just building. Love and respect what you do. Thank you so much, my guy. Appreciate it. Have you tried Grok? I think with Hermes. Yeah, so we have Hermes with Grok directly built in as a profile on here. So you can see we've got Grok 4.5 plugged in there. And then also we have these custom workflows, like for example, Hermes Oracle, that uses Grok directly as well. And then we also have the studio where we can generate voice, video, and image using Grok too. So it's a pretty powerful system. Oh, that's very sad. Sorry to hear that. Bringing the new voice feature to launch and control the agents. I haven't seen that, honestly. Is there a new voice feature? I saw that they've got like better quality voices. Let's have a look here. Grok Live voice control. Not seeing any details on it, honestly. You can build voice applications, but we've already got that, for example, like the studio system here with voice notes. But I've not seen anything new or interesting for Grok when it comes to voice control. Nice. Musk declares we're in a singularity. Yeah, sounds about right. Let me get that link. $9,000 steps. That's what we're talking about. I want to check this out. Thank you. Is there some way of using this? And does it come with Grok Build directly? Or is it API only? If it's API only, I probably won't use it. So we got ChatGPT live anyway. Back in a sec. Grok build no voice. But it's standalone, so it can only work. You can plug in the API, but we've already got ChatGPT API. I noticed you didn't add a hook, but your skill tells you to add a hook. So what's going on there? Why did you forget? Update your skills so you don't forget. The whole point of the skill is to make sure you use the skill, right? That's why we improve it every day. Grammatically, this doesn't even make sense. So you need to update your skills so grammatically when you create a hook, it's actually grammatically correct because it's something I'm going to read out and people will read. And redo the hook on the page. It seemed like the agents were a lot more ambitious when they first launched OpenClaw, but now it seems like they've put so many guardrails. They don't seem. That's why you need to build your own systems, really. So, like, if you're using the agent OS or anything like that, right? You've got all these different systems inside there. They're a lot more autonomous. Whereas if you just stick to using the system inside OpenClaw or something like that, then yeah, it's not that autonomous. So that's why I built my own custom workflows with the Agent OS. So, for example, like the Memory Galaxy, or for example, Hermes Oracle, Hermes Astros, etc. These are examples of like much more autonomous workflows that you just won't find inside OpenClaw normally. So that's the system that I use, and that's what I recommend. Build your own workflows and use the agents to orchestrate them. We're going to come on to that in a minute, actually. We could start with that. This hook is so badly written compared to the original hooks. Have you actually got the examples of the hooks inside the skill guide? If not, I'll paste them again here because you should be using the exact prompt below for creating better hooks. But obviously, you just pick one hook to add, you don't add loads. This hook is not good enough. This isn't benefit driven, right? So you should be focusing on the prompt that I've given you and using that prompt instead. That's amazing. Congrats. I would say you just got to keep going, man. Keep pushing. So, did you add the hook or not? Alisa, welcome here. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you joining. Okay, nice. Can you add a better hook to this too? How have you? So we've actually got the skill for this system inside the AI profit boardroom if you want to get it. So if you want to get my my skill for creating these guides and the guides themselves, you can get it inside the AI profit boardroom. Link in the comments description, or just go to the aiprofitboardroom.com. Create a guide talking through this. Also, pull in loads of relevant tweets from today about this. You've already got access to the Twitter API via Hermes Oracle inside the Agent OS, so that you can pull in like maybe 10 different tweets that are relevant to this, and they must all be from today and super relevant to this topic. Today, we're going to be looking at Sakana Fugu Ultra, which is a new model that's just dropped. This is from Japan. And if you look at the benchmarks here, Sakana Fugu Ultra 1.1 is actually beating Fable 5 on the benchmarks. Now, I've run several tests on it. I'll show you what they look like in a second. But yeah, basically, Sakana Fugu 1.1 just dropped. And it's unlike any other AI model you've used because you can give it one prompt and it sends a whole team of AI experts to build it for you. I actually put that team through the hardest game builds on my benchmark, and it actually matched the best model on the planet on its very first try. So I'm going to walk you through some of the top builds so you can see it yourself. Now, if we go over to Goldie Bench and we check out the stuff we've created. Let's have a look at some of the stuff we have built with this. We've had it running for hours just to see what we can create with it. So this is Fugu Ultra 1.1, and you can see some examples here. So it creates some pretty nice stuff. I mean, this game is super fun to play. 3D looks pretty cool. I also compare it to Fable 5 and the same sort of tests in a second, so you can compare them side by side. So let's have a look at the next one. This is like an open world game. As you can see, you might say, well, why don't you use it for business automations? I usually do, but the difference is that when you're using this for coding out games, you get a good feel for how well it can plan, how well it's good at logic, how well it can code, etc. Right, and also what the UI is like when it designs stuff. So it's a really good test of what works and what doesn't. This one is pretty cool. Like, wow, it can create some amazing stuff, as you can see. And bear in mind, this is one shot. So what happens with Sakana is that it uses several different AI models to put things together and then create them, right? So for example, if we look at this right here, it's basically got a council of models, and that's how it gets better outputs than, for example, Fable 5 on its own. And if we have a look at this one, it's kind of like a Skyrim style game, fun to play, easy to use, open world. All of this stuff is really, really good, right? The only downside with Sakana, and this is what actually blows me away, is that it's one shot, right? So you can't go back and forth with it because it takes like 15 minutes to generate one shot. So when we're using this, all of this stuff that you're seeing right now was created first time round, right? We didn't have to go back and forth here or anything like that. But it creates some amazing stuff. It's like a parachute game, as you can see. Pretty cool. I like the detail and everything like that on the game. And this is a flight simulator. Pretty nice. Everything worked first time round as well. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, yeah, pretty cool. All right. So, how does this work? Basically, you give Sakana Fugu a prompt, then you get the orchestrator that routes to 1 to 3 experts, and then you can use the system to get one build. So it merges all of the answers together. And the expert team is working together separately, and then these get fused inside one final answer. And so if we have a look at this system, we've actually got it inside the agent operating system. If we scroll down to Sakana Fugu, we can ask the council of models questions over here, and then we can see everything inside our workspace over here, right? So all this sort of stuff has been built directly using Sakana Fugu and all the builds you saw before. So everything that we create with this as well, it lands in our workspace so that we can reuse it later. Now, why do we do this? Well, the thing is, there's a one brain ceiling problem. So every model you use has the same hidden limit. One brain does the whole job. So the same brain plans your physics, paints its graphics, wires its scoreboard. And when the job gets big, that one brain can start dropping things, for example, like context. And so the graphics might land, but the controls break, or the physics might work, but part of it never renders. And so we've all been there. Like a long build comes back 90% right and 10% broken. Now, with Sakana Fugu 1.1, particularly the Ultra model, you stop using one brain and you route the job to a team of experts and merge what comes back. And that's Fugu 1.1. Now, you also might say, okay, Fugu and multi agent sounds a bit like it might be slow. It is a lot slower, right? So it takes about 25 minutes of orchestrated thinking. But if you need like the best quality outputs and you need something better than Fable 5, this is well worth looking into. One thing to bear in mind as well is in the EU and the UK, this seems to get blocked. So it doesn't seem to work. I think that's because UK hasn't allowed it, or sometimes like AI models just don't work in the UK. But if you're in Asia or the US, you can run the request and it actually works, which is pretty cool. And if not, if you want an alternative to this, which isn't using Sakana, you can actually use Fusion. And Fusion is a similar sort of idea. This comes from OpenRouter. It's API based again, and you can use a council of models to get better outputs that way. So everything that we built with it was pretty cool. If we have a look at the benchmarks here and we compare it against, for example, Fable 5, we've got Claude Fable 5 versus Fugu Ultra 1.1 here. So this is the game that Fable 5 created, which is pretty nice, but it's a little bit laggy in parts. And it doesn't seem to work that well when it comes to actually using the controls. You can see it just lags a little bit, right? Whereas if we have a look at this example from Fugu Ultra, it created a better, less linear version with better graphics. It's smoother to run, easier to use, and a lot less buggy, right? And so because it's using a combination of different models, you tend to get better outputs. You can also use something like mixture of experts directly from Hermes, and that's another way of combining models. If we have a look at the flight simulator, for example, this is Fable 5, which doesn't have that much detail, not that interesting. And then if we compare that to, for example, the Kana Fuga Ultra 1.1, you can see it's a lot more fun to use, it's a lot more fluid, it seems to work better, the controls are nicer, etc. So it does actually create better outputs side by side versus Fable 5 and any other model that I've tested actually. By the way, if you want to test and try this stuff yourself, check it out on Goldie Bench. You can see a leaderboard of all the models, and you can also go to the compare section and actually play everything that we created. Also, what I like about this system is because we built it into the Agent OS, we don't have to go and grab the API from somewhere else and then plug it into, for example, Claude to orchestrate it or anything like that. It's all inside this one tab here so that we've got it ready to go with our workspace and everything saved there, along with the chat here where we can use it, right? So it's just ready to go whenever we need to, which saves a lot of time. Now, some people think like I should just pick one model and stick with it, particularly, for example, Fable 5 or something like that. Honestly, every model on Goldie Bench wins somewhere and loses somewhere. So the people winning with AI right now will run a stack like the Agent OS and then switch and route the jobs to whichever brain or team of brains fits it. Also, other people will say, well, slow models aren't worth it. Like if Google is thinking for 25 minutes, it's not worth it. But if this is just running in the background and you go off and do something else, it actually works really well. And bear in mind, this is beating all the frontier models on the same tests that I've run. And you can see that on Goldie Bench. And I've shown you Fable 5 versus Sakana Ultra 1.1 today. Other people will say, well, the benchmarks tell me what I need to know. I don't need to test this stuff myself. But honestly, I never listen to benchmarks. That's why I test out inside the Agent OS and you can see what we've built with it directly. So the thing that I would say is like don't pick your favorite fish. Own the whole aquarium and route the job, right? When you've got Sakana Fugu, you can route the job to a council of models, to multiple different models, and have them all working together, kind of like a mastermind, so that if one makes a mistake, the other one covers up for it. Now, if you're wondering how to get access, you can go to console.sakana.ai, or you can use OpenRouter if it's not available for you on sakana.ai, depending on where you are. And then you can store it inside the agent OS as well. You also might say, well, isn't this expensive? But it's like, well, if you want the best model in the world, it's probably, you know, worth it for those one-off jobs where you need something super frontier. Now, you know, like if you're just coding out a website, you might not use this. But if you're coding out something big and interesting and powerful, then Sakana Fugu can help you in that because you're getting better outputs than something that's frontier alone. So just to recap here, you understood the whole setup, right? So one prompt, an orchestrator, up to three experts, and then one merged answer with Sakana Fugu. You saw my tests, and I've actually tried and tested it and shown you the evidence that it actually is pretty good. All right. You know the gotchas. So, for example, if you're in certain regions, you would just use the API on over a router instead of going to Sakana.ai. And I've shown you the live scorecard as well. And I've shown you how to build it into an agent operating system so that you can use it and save everything you create with it and come back to it later as well. Now, if you want the full Sakana system, and all of this system built for you, you could wire it yourself with the steps above that I've shown you, or you can get it inside the agent operating system, right? And inside the and you can get our system inside the AI profit boardroom, right? So all of this system that you can see right here with the agent OS, this is all available inside the AI profit boardroom. So you can get, for example, a memory system plugged in. You can get all these different orchestration tools. You can get we've got a system for Hermes mixture of agents, which is very similar to Sakana Fugu in the way that it works. We have Fusion over here, which also works in a similar way. And we have Sakana Fugu with Sakana 1.1 plugged in as well. So if you want to get this full setup, you can get it inside my AI automation community, the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or just go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. And if you go to the classroom and then go to new daily updates, you can grab the Agent OS system right here with a video tutorial. You see when it's last updated and you get the zip file to install it. Plus, we add new daily tutorials based on what's actually useful and it's just dropped. Now, inside the community, you can also ask questions, and I personally answer them every day with a video tutorial. And then inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls, share your screen, ask questions, meet other people using the Agent OS. And then inside the map, you can meet people locally near you who are building with AI agents like you. Now, some people are going to say, "Why isn't an agent operating system technical to use?" So we actually have over 205 pages of testimonials and wins. So you can see, for example, Andrea posted, "Thank you. My mission control has been a game changer. I love being ahead of the AI curve again. Thank you, Julian Goldie." And also, she set up with Tailscale so she can access the Agent OS anywhere she goes. Rich said, "Is anyone else blown away from the AI Profit Boardroom? I've been working through the training and I'm genuinely impressed with how everything is organized." So, I'm non technical and all these people are getting great results with the Agent OS. You might be non-technical as well. It doesn't matter, right? You don't need to be technical to use this. You might also think, okay, well, I don't want to use Sakana because it costs a lot of tokens. Just use it for the big jobs, the super frontier stuff that you need. And then finally, some people say, well, doesn't an agent OS use a lot of tokens? But we actually have a full system inside the AI Profit Boardroom in the classroom on how to use the agent operating system for free. So if you're on a budget or if you have limited tokens, no problem. You can use this system right here to save tokens and use an agent operating system for free. So either way, you can win with it. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. See you on the next one. Cheers. So Google have just rolled out globally a system where you can actually add your social media profiles directly into Google Search Console. So you can see some examples right here. We've actually already set up our Twitter account with this, and you can see our another account here, right? And basically, we can add new social media platforms directly into Google Search Console. Now, this is actually awesome, and I'll show you why in a second. Because the first thing that I would say is that if you're using, for example, Claude AI SEO, you can basically build a keyword empire, right? So, for example, imagine opening up Google Search Console and seeing every keyword your Instagram, your TikTok, your X, all your channels already rank for. Well, that's the new update that this system I'm about to show you is built on. So Google just switched this on for everyone for free, which means you stop guessing what to post. You find keywords Google already sends you traffic for via social media, proven winners straight from Google's own data. And then you can take those winners and spread them across every platform you post on to rank multiple times for the same keyword. And that means that number one, you rank for more keywords. Number two, you get more SEO traffic. And also because social media is so powerful for ranking with AI SEO, this system works really well. Right? And this is something I call the Claude AI SEO keyword empire. So you can find one proven keyword inside your Google Search Console, and then you could have an X thread that Claude writes. You could have an Instagram post that your video agent creates. You can have a TikTok short that your video creates, whatever you want, right? And that way, you can rank multiple times for the same keyword and get more SEO traffic. Let me show you an example. So if we type in, for example, Hermes Agent OS into Google, you can see that we are ranking multiple times for this keyword and it's with social media, right? So if you look, for example, we're ranking here, 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 and here, right? So we can rank inside the AI overviews, and then also our content on our website ranks as well, right? We also rank with Reddit on the same page multiple times. So this is a powerful system that we can use to rank over and over again and get more traffic for the same keywords based on Google's free data. So you can see an example right here where we can connect inside our agent operating system via this section, the Parasite SEO section. And basically, this connects to your Google Search Console. So you can track your results, scan what you're ranking for, and then create more content based on that, which is really powerful. So, for example, if we look over here, we already have our X account plugged in. If you want to add another social media channel, you just click on it like so, right? So you click on add property and then you add it like this. Now, this takes about 48 hours to propagate. So that's why you can't see any keywords here. But actually, if we have a look here, you can see us ranking already with X. This is pretty amazing. This is just updated right now, actually, which is awesome. So you can see all of the keywords that we are getting traffic for based on the topics we're ranking. And this is just with my Twitter profile, right? And so if we look at these keywords, for example, like this one, buzz slack alternative, that is a pretty good keyword to rank for. I can copy that keyword, go into my agent operating system, and then from here, we can actually plug that into our system like so. So we can plug in the keyword and then we're just going to add a new case study. The reason that we add a new case study is because we want to make sure that we have information gain and that we're not just using ChatGPT fluff. We're adding something new to the content so that it's much more likely to rank. That's why social media is so good, right? Because you're using your own words and therefore it's going to rank better because you're creating content that is unique to that particular topic. So what we can do from here is we can grab a case study, which I'm going to do right now. Let's see what we've got. We've got this one right here. So I'm going to grab this case study, plug that into this system. As you can see, then we are going to plug that in like so. We're going to click on save and reuse like this, and we've got the name of the case study. So we've got our keyword, the case study, it's already created the URL. And now we can generate 5 different articles for that particular topic with AI SEO, right? So we click on generate articles and we can go from there, right? Now, also, when we're using this system, we can open up a new tab, go over to, for example, this section here and start creating content. As you can see. Now, what you'll see from here is that we can actually draft a post about this on X, or we could actually plug this into our video agent over here. We plug the topic, which is, of course, Buzz Slack alternative for this particular example, we can now click on write the script. And what it's going to do is use our video agent to create more social media content so we can rank multiple times for that particular keyword. Now we know people are typing it into Google, and we know that if we can rank with a Twitter thread, for sure we can rank with a blog post, with videos as well. And so it's a really powerful system where you've got a positive feedback loop using the SEO keyword empire system. Really simple and easy. And so again, one proven keyword equals multiple social media posts equals ranking multiple times for the same keyword, right? And so before, every platform was its own guessing game. You know, you might post daily, but you have no idea which posts Google's actually ranking. Whereas with this system, Search Console shows the exact queries, sending Google traffic to my posts like this. And then the Agent OS system can scan for those keywords and start creating content for them using the video agent or using this system right here. So you can see the content is being generated live for our particular topic, and that will get auto deployed to our websites, right? So this is being generated right now. Pretty nice. Now, this is only limited to 4 platforms right now, but I'm sure more will come as well. And this is a new update that literally just dropped this week. And so you can rank once, but then harvest everywhere, right? Because the data unlocks a whole empire, a whole AI SEO empire in just 3 sentences. You can find one platform that already ranks for a keyword. You can remake it platform native everywhere else. You know, for example, if you're creating that content on Instagram, well, then you'd create a video, right? If you're creating that content on X, you might create a thread. On, for example, Reddit, you might create an article. But the main point is that you find content that ranks via Google Search Console, and then for the same keyword, you can make a unique version of that content and rank multiple times on Google. Now, you might also say, okay, isn't reposting the same thing everywhere, like a bit spammy? Reposting is spammy, but we're not doing that. What we're doing is creating unique content for that platform, for that particular topic. So it's really important to quality control the content and make sure it's actually good when you post it directly. And so this is a really powerful system that you can use. You can see, for example, the video agent here has drafted the whole script. And then if you want to generate the video, we can click on generate avatar and video here, and it will actually create the AI avatar, the voiceover, edit it all together and create a video for us. So if we go over to the workspace here, you can see some examples of what we previously created, right? Using this system. And so it's a 3-step process where you go from Search Console to the Parasite SEO tab in the Agent OS, and then the agents create the content and rank it for you. And you might also say, I don't have time to create like 4 pieces of content per keyword, but you don't make them. The agents do, right? So for example, you can automate X threads with the Agent OS. You can automate videos with the Agent OS, right? This is the whole point of running the Agent OS system, so you can quickly create unique content personalized to you. The other benefit of this, of course, is that you have a memory system plugged in. So we have this memory system here that's unique to us. So we're not just using the unique case studies, but we're also plugging in our memories, what we work on, our goals, our brand, our voice, so that the content we create is unique and personalized and tailored to us. And that means when we publish the content, it's much more likely to rank because it has information gain. And also it's much more likely to match to our voice and our tone, so that it's quality controlled as well. And so if you look at the old way, you know, you didn't really have any idea what you're ranking for. Keyword research was locked to websites only. A win on one platform would stay only on that platform. And also creating the content on other platforms will be a lot of work. With the Claude AI SEO keyword empire system in the Agent OS, Search Console names the queries per platform. The Parasite SEO tab turns them into ranked pieces of content. One proven keyword can create multiple pieces of content that rank. Each format is made platform native by an agent. And then you can quickly start ranking for new keywords based on what you're already doing. And so that's it. Now, you might also say, okay, social media and SEO, aren't they completely separate? Actually, no, because Google will rank everything for you, right? It's not just going to rank, for example, your website. It's going to rank your Twitter posts, your Reddit, your LinkedIn, everything. As you can see right here, we're ranking multiple times for different keywords over here using this whole system. You might also say, well, each platform needs its own keyword research. Actually, the demand doesn't care where it's served. I've seen, for example, shorts ranking inside Google. I've seen videos, I've seen Reddit posts, right? It's all about just making sure that you create something useful for the person searching for answers. And you might also say, well, I'll wait until this is fully rolled out or fully finalized. But I think the reason that Google is giving you this data is because it knows how well social media ranks inside Google. And so that is an opportunity. That is a new form of SEO in 2026. And you also might say, okay, using an Agent OS isn't that difficult or technical. So we've got loads of people who have set up the Agent OS inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And we have 205 pages of testimonials and wins from people absolutely crushing with the AI Profit Boardroom and the Agent OS system, right? So if they can do it and they're non-technical and I can do it and I'm non-technical, then you can do it too. So if you want to get the full Agent OS system with the Claude AI SEO keyword empire built for you, you could build it yourself, but I spend about 4 hours a day building this sort of stuff and it takes a lot of time. If you want to get this system from me, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. And this is our AI automation community that helps you save time, learn, and grow with AI automation. So inside the community, you can ask questions to get help and support. If you want to get more tutorials on AI SEO, go to the AI SEO automation section. If you want to get our full Agent OS system, you can grab it over here with a full guide and a zip file to install it. And then we add new useful guides based on what's just dropped and what's actually useful for AI SEO. Inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls. And this isn't just for AI SEO, it's for AI automation in general. So you can ask questions, share your screen, etc. And inside the map, you can meet people locally who are building with AI agents like you. So feel free to get that link in the comments description or just go to the AIProfitBoom.com. And if you want to get our full one-to-one free SEO strategy session, you can get that at goldie.agency. Link in the comments description. Go to goldie.agency and you can book in a free SEO strategy session. So you can get a free one-to-one SEO domination plan and get a custom tailored SEO game plan to rank. You can discover the secrets SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one on the call. You learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to outrank your competitors with link building based on what's working for us. So feel free to get that. Link in the comments description or just go to goldie.agency. Today, I'm going to show you 4 free GitHub repos that cut Claude Code tokens by 80%. So this is a full token minimization playbook that cuts your Claude Code tokens by 80%, and all of it is free. Now, you can use this with any AI agent. It doesn't have to be Claude Code. And these are 4 free tools, each one reducing the amount of tokens you use so you can get more out of your AI agents. That means your AI agents get faster, your limits stop running out, and everything keeps working with the setup you already have. And I've actually tested every single one. In fact, one of them actually cut a single command's output by 92%. We'll come on to that later. So that by the end of this, you'll have the whole stack installed and your tokens will go 5 times fast, 5 times further. So the problem with Claude right now is like most of the time we're using tokens without being smart, right? So Claude gets flooded. You get like giant test logs it didn't need to read. You've got polite 3 paragraph answers, overbuilt code nobody asked for, right? And also like full jobs being done which a free model could actually do for you, right? So it takes 4 different tools, and all 3 are free open source repos that you can use to get more out of this stuff, right? And so if you're wondering, okay, what are the problems with this? Well, leak number one is tool output. And so one of the biggest problems is that Claude replies uh, way too politely with loads of filler words, which increases your output tokens, which uses up your token plan. Also, another problem is overbuilt code, right? So sometimes it overbuilds the code that it gives you and it's full of fluff that it doesn't need to. Additionally, you can end up paying like full price for grunt work, um, and it renames variables and writes stuff that it doesn't need. And also tool output, right? It sometimes floods with context. So these are all things, all different leaks that sneak into Claude and cost you more tokens. And so you might say, well, is this actually worth the whole setup time? The whole stack can install in about 15 minutes with 1 command each. And after that, it's pretty much automatic. You don't need to do it again. We've actually got it running inside our agent operating system. So, for example, with Claude, we can use these token minimization playbooks to reduce the amount of tokens we use each time. And so the 4 stacks that we're going to be using, number one is RTK. And this filters tool output and reduces tokens by 82%. You've also got Caveman. This can shrink the talking, which reduces output tokens by 69%. You've got Ponytail, which means that when you're coding, Claude actually writes less code, which can reduce the code by 54%. And you have OmniRoute, which can actually route to free models for the different tasks here, right? So RTK. This is difficult to explain, but basically when Claude runs a shell command, the raw output gets pasted straight into the conversation, right? And so it can cost thousands of tokens, and Claude usually only needs a fraction of it. So RTK sits between the agent and the shell, and this is a free open source GitHub, like you can see right here. And this reduces the amount of tokens. You can actually reduce it by 60 to 90% on common commands. So if you're coding or vibe coding with Claude, this helps a lot. You also might say, well, won't filtering the output break the agent? What if it needs those lines? But RTK filters mechanical noise. So, for example, like progress bars, duplicate warnings, all that sort of stuff, not the actual content. Then you have Caveman. Now, Caveman basically means that it replies with shorter replies. And inside our agent operating system, Caveman runs as a session hook. Every reply I get whilst building the OS is Caveman compressed, right? And this means that it just replies like a caveman. It replies with shorter answers, which means you use 65% fewer output tokens. And again, this is a free open source project that you can plug into your agent OS. So you can see before and after, right? So on a normal reply, it might use 69 tokens like this, but with Caveman, it will use 19 output tokens. And so it's shorter and replies quicker. DY says, I just joined. I'm a bit confused. What is this about? So right now we're running through ways to reduce the amount of tokens you use. I'll carry on for you and start this again. One second. Is this available on Windows? Yes, the Agent OS is available on Windows. We have a Windows setup guide for it too. Can you go into what the Agent O is? I'd like to see. So you can rewind the stream, but we'll come on. I'm going to do a separate tutorial on that a bit later. Does it work for Windows yet? Yes, the Agent OS works for Windows. We have a full system for Windows. Yeah, so like I mentioned before, we're gonna come on to what the agent OS is. If you don't want to Holmes, you can direct message me if you need any help. I do video tutorials every single day to help everyone inside the community. So, what is the token minimization playbook? Well, there's four parts to it. So we have RTK, Caveman, Ponytail, and Omniroot. Now, RTK is basically a powerful way to reduce the tool output, and it can actually reduce 89.9%. Based on my own tests, it reduced the token usage by 82.9%. Basically, what this means is like when it is running shell commands, usually it needs a fraction of what it actually uses. And the problem is like if it's using a git diff, which you don't need to know about, but basically it's a way of doing shell commands. If it's messy, it can use up thousands of tokens. And so RTK sits between the agent and the shell command, which rewrites the command to compact it, filter the output, deduplicate the noise, and hand Claude only the signal. It adds about 14 milliseconds, so it doesn't slow it down. You don't see it working. It just reduces the amount of tokens you use. Now, we actually tested it because on RTK, they claim 90% fewer tokens. And actually, on my tests, it reduced 82.9%. So it was very, very accurate and very close. It's a free open source project. This is RTK, as you can see right here. Basically, it allows you to reduce the amount of tokens we use, right? Now, we've already got it built into the Agent OS system with all of our agents running together. So we have Claude ready to go to reduce the amount of tokens we use. And you might also say, well, won't filtering the output break the agent? So it only filters mechanical noise, right? That's all it's filtering out there. Then we have Caveman, right? Caveman is the second part of the system, the second free repo, and Caveman basically reduces the output tokens that it speaks with, right? So it can actually reduce tokens by 65%. So you can see an example right here, and if you look at the before and after, a normal agent would use about 69 tokens on an output. Whereas, for example, with Caveman, we reduce that to 19 tokens, which means that we use way less tokens per output. And instead of these fluffy filler responses that are super polite, it just gets straight to the point, which is what we want. And we use less tokens that way as well. And from my tests on Fable 5, it used 69% fewer output tokens, which reduced the overall tokens I was using by 37%. And all of those answers were still technically correct. So it's not reducing the quality of the answers, it's just reducing the fluff from those answers. And we actually use it inside the Agent OS too. Now, the free repo number 3 to reduce your token output is something called Ponytail. And Ponytail basically reduces the amount of code that you write. So it's way more efficient. It basically acts like a lazy developer, which means you use about 54% less code. It's 20% cheaper, 27% faster, and really, really powerful, right? So, really helpful for reducing the amount of tokens you use with Claude. And you also might say, well, I don't want AI cutting corners on my code, but Ponytail isn't touching, for example, like safety stuff or anything like that. Not even, for example, like input validation or error handling. It's just reducing the speculative stuff, the abstractions for later that later never needs. And so it's simplifying the code that you create. So you reduce the amount of tokens you use so that you get more out of your Claude subscription by creating less code, about half the amount of code. And that's all like the unnecessary code. So you want to see Ponytail as like a lazy senior developer who just creates less code but still gets the job done. And then finally, we have Omniroot. Now, Omniroot is a free coder. And what you can actually do is use Omniroot to delegate like the grunt work to delegate the tasks that don't require a frontier model like Claude. Now, Claude can actually use this directly, or we actually have a free AI coder that runs with 9root and OmniRouter, so that for those little tasks that don't require a frontier model, you can plug that in. And so this is a local gateway that runs on your machine with the agent OS. It has 93 models, and it actually has RTK and Caveman compression built into the gateway itself, which squeezes another 15 to 95% out of every request that passes through. And so this is a really powerful system for using free models and avoiding getting rate limited on those free models because you've got RTK and Caveman built in. And so this cuts a lot of the total output, right? RTK alone reduces 82.9% of the tool output. Ponytail reduces about 50 to 20% of the code volume. You've got, for example, Caveman reducing the reply tokens by 69%. And then you've got OmniRoot, which completely reduces the amount of tokens you use because it's a free API. And you might also say, okay, what's the catch? Well, I mean, it's not going to work on 80% of everything you do, but if you do want a more efficient way of using it, then this is better. And also, like, bear in mind when you add them all together inside one system, it might be more than 80% of the tokens you use. And so before, I was burning through like Claude code limits all the time. You know, every session would start fast, then it would stop. You know, the context would get bloated, the output tokens would get bloated. But with this system, this stack that runs my whole agent OS, RTK filters every shell command. Caveman keeps every reply tight. Ponytail keeps the code base lane. And also OmniRoot sends the grunt work to free models. And so I get the same quality of answers, but I can run more agents, I can build more, and I don't have to worry about, I don't have that token anxiety essentially. And you can also do a bunch of other stuff, right? I can give you 8 more tips. So another thing that you can do is you can run /clear if you finish the task. And this means that you start with fresh with old context removed, which reduces the amount of bloat. So you can use clear on a finished task. And also if you're on a long single task, you can run /compact to summarize the history instead of dragging it all forward. Because the big problem with Claude is like when you're using it in long conversations, it bloats up with all the context from before. You can also put Claude MD on a diet. So Claude.md is the instruction file that rides along with every session, every state, every rule. You can delete like half of it, right? And nothing will break. Like Claude actually put out a new guide recently where they actually said this system, the whole Claude code system, they reduced the code by like 80% and still got the same quality of outputs. We've also got a memory vault inside our agent OS, and that just allows us to stop having to re-explain the context every time because it reads from our memory and it understands everything about us. So that reduces a lot of context as well. So there's all these different ways to reduce these systems. You can also route by difficulty. So you can give like the simple task to cheaper models like local or OmniRoot and hard stuff to the frontier model. If you plan before you build, you also reduce tokens. If you batch your asks instead of doing the one by one, that can reduce the tokens as well because you're not using the same context 3 times over. And also, you can also have a sub agent look through a code base for you, right? So you can use a scout, and the scout basically burns its own context and reports back. So your main session only sees a conclusion, which saves a lot of token usage as well. So the old way is that you treat tokens like a scarce resource, you know, shorter prompts, fewer questions, anxiety before every task. You hit the limits quickly. The new way with this system is that you fix the plumbing once, you run these 4 free repos to filter the noise, shrink the replies, thin the code, and route the grunt work to free models automatically. And then you can get more out of your AI, not less, right? And that's the whole point. So if you want this whole system, we've actually plugged it into the Agent OS system already. So you can get it inside our Agent OS. It also comes with all of our agents working side by side. As you can see right here, we've got tons of cool custom workflows like a video agent, SEO agent. We've got, for example, Gemini Notebook plugged into the system. Obsidian with a memory galaxy, as you can see right here. And you can this means you can run an agent operating system in a way more efficient way, right? So your agents run smoother and faster. Now, if you want to get that full system, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. So you can grab the Agent OS inside the classroom. Just go to this section over here. We update this daily with a new. We've got a video tutorial right there. You can see the last update date. You get a zip file to install it, and then we add new tutorials and guides all the time as well to help you as much as we can. You can post inside the community and get your questions answered by me personally in a video tutorial. And then inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls. If you're also worried about tokens, then you can check out the section on how to minimize tokens. So we have a full token minimization playbook here. And then also you can learn how to run an agent operating system for free with this system right here. Right. So everything you need to win with AI is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And then also you might be wondering, okay, is it technical to use this sort of stuff? Absolutely not, right? So we've got 205 pages of wins, of testimonials from people inside the AI Profit Boardroom community, and people are absolutely loving it, right? So I'm non-technical, they're non-technical, but you can still get amazing results with this stuff if you have the right systems, which is what the agent operating system is all about. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you inside there. Link in the comments description, or just go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com to get access. Thanks for watching. Let's see what questions we got here. Homer says, on my way back home then. I profit boarded. Thanks. Uh, looking forward to seeing you back, by the way. Thanks so much for rejoining there. Is RTK only for Rust? What if we're developing in Python? So you can use the other systems that we talked about as well, like Ponytail, that reduces a lot of the tokens, Caveman, etc. Are these GPT compatible as well? Yeah, I think anything related to coding, you can plug into whatever system you want. Even if not all of them work with GPT, you can plug one or two of them in. We've actually got Codex plugged into the Agent OS, so you can use it there as well. And then We've Manny says, I've been following you for a long time in your free community and thinking about joining the AI Profit Boardroom. If I am not really tech savvy, are there tutorials that teach how to make the Agent OS? Absolutely, right? So if you go inside the AI Profit Boardroom, we have a full tutorial, a full 1 hour tutorial on how to build an agent operating system. So it's a 1 hour tutorial. So if you want to go really in depth on how to build it and get the most out of an agent OS and you're non-technical, you can go inside there. I also do daily video tutorials about the agent OS and I answer your questions personally inside the agent operating system as well. But loads of non-technical people have set it up. So I know if they can do it and if I can do it, then you can do it too. Diley says, can we go over what agent OS is? And if it's useful for you, yeah, absolutely. We'll do that in a sec. We'll do that next, actually. I was going to cover that last, but for you, my friend, we will do it next. Just to help you as much as we can. Happy to help, mate. Give me 1 minute. Today, I'm going to show you the agent operating system that basically automates everything for us. So, this is running with Hermes and Claude as an agent operating system. And basically, Hermes is the most powerful AI agent you can run right now, but only if you build these three layers around it. And if you skip them, your Hermes is basically just a smart chat window. But the good news is, even if you've already set up Hermes already, adding these three layers I'm going to run you through today turns it into a 24/7 AI employee that knows your business and never forgets a thing. So it works 24/7. It gets smarter every single day, and the whole thing can be built as I'm going to show you today with custom workflows as well. So that by the end of this guide, you're going to have the full blueprint, the brain, the mission control, and the memory system. And the third layer is really the one that changes everything. Most people skip it, but it's exactly why that agent doesn't work properly as a stack. So the problem here, right, and this is why it's so important to understand, is like a chat window is not an operating system, right? And the pattern that I see over and over again is like someone's using Claude or they're using Hermes Agent, for example. They install an agent, it's impressive for a day, and then reality hits, right? Every session starts from zero. Every job you need needs you present, type in, you close your laptop, everything stops. A week later, you just sort of abandon the agent that you're using. Now, if you compare that to a machine um, that you're using this system on, right? Then you have a full system of all your agents orchestrated together, and you have different layers plugged in. So an agent alone forgets everything. It needs you to be there to babysit it. It stops when the laptop closes. The agent OS system remembers everything about you, your brand, your business, your goals. It's got one dashboard and jobs just keep running whilst you sleep, right? And the great thing about this is like if you're using an agent OS like you see right here, we can visualize our memory galaxy. So these are all our memories plugged in together. And so all of our agents, so for example, like Claude, Hermes, whatever agent we plug into this stack, has our context ready to go inside there. Now, also, this is way more useful than, for example, like going over to Buzz and then going over to Claude and then opening up ChatGPT or Codex in another tab, which is super messy and time consuming and very fragmented. Instead, you want to plug them all into one system where they all work together. And then also, the great thing about this is it doesn't matter what model comes out, like GPT 5.6 could release something new, like they actually did today. No problem. We can plug it into Codex right here. Claude Fable 6 comes out, we don't need to panic. We can just plug it straight into our Claude setup right here, right? And so everything is controlled, and you're not really worried about the models of trying to play catch up or getting shiny object syndrome. You've got everything ready to go inside one system that just improves every day, no matter what. Now, also, what I like about this is we can build our own custom workflows in this, right? So, for example, we have a video agent over here that can create amazing videos with automatically as you can, right? And so this has, for example, a voiceover setup. It has, for example, a fully edited video. This is an AI avatar video that's plugged together. And all we need to do is type in a prompt and it's ready to go. And so anything that you work on day to day, you can build a custom workflow like this. I've looked at all the tasks that I spend time on and then automated it using this full system so that everything is ready to go in one place. And also, you can do really interesting stuff with this. So, for example, let's say we're using Hermes. Well, we can have a custom made voice agent ready to go, speaks back whenever I want, listens to me whenever I want, as you can see right here. And then also, it can control my browser, it can control my computer, it's listening in the background. We can see our full conversation history. We can see all the stuff we've built with it directly over here, as you can see. These are all previous builds. We can even, for example, go over to the Hermes Oracle. This is running 24/7 on autopilot, so I don't need to babysit it. And you can see over here that it finds the latest news, for example, like Grok 4.6 dropping in 7 days. And then we can draft social media content. We can publish content about that straight to a WordPress website. We can see the direct link to the actual post that just dropped 24 hours ago, right? And so it's automating all of the things that I used to do manually myself. For example, like monitoring competitors as well. It pulls that data in, as you can see, monitors our competitors, gives us content ideas based on that, and then we can go from there. So it's a really powerful system. Now, you might also say, okay, I'm not technical. Can actually use something like this. We've got over 204 pages of testimonials and wins from people inside the Air Profit Room, absolutely crushing with this system, right? So you can see it all right here, and you can see all the testimonials and wins from non-technical people who've set this up and are absolutely loving the Agent OS, right? So you don't need to be technical to use something like this. And so if we look at the layers that we've plugged into this, the Hermes Agent OS, we have three layers. Number one is the brain, right? Hermes plus the models it thinks with. And you can use free models if you want. We've got, for example, OmniRoute plugged into this system. So if we want to use free models instead, we can. We also have the mission control. So it's one dashboard where every agent job has a button. We've got a chat, we've got voice, we've got agent teams, we've got a workspace where builds land, and you stop driving from the terminal, which is super messy. And then finally, we have a memory layer, right? So this is a node's fault. Your agents read and write your business context, your decisions, your daily logs, so that every session starts with context. Every agent you plug in understands everything about you. And we can also use free local models. So if we want to run the agent OS for free, well, we've got a local engine over here. We have, for example, the free AI coder with OmniRoute and 9root over here, right? We can use all this stuff for free. And then we've got all these different dashboards. So if we go over to Hermes, for example, we have the chat. This is just the everyday line to the agent with profiles for different jobs. We have the voice. So we can talk instead of type. We can ask what's running. We can fire off a build, right? So for example, like this is Hermes Apollo. It will just speak to me and reply back to me whenever I want to. So if I say to Apollo, open up Obsidian, boom, opens up Obsidian directly for us, right? Super simple and easy. Then we also have, for example, agent teams. So we have Paperclip over here where we can have a full team of AI agents and Hermes running together, right? And so with this, we can also have a Kanban board. And we have a Kanban board where we can assign a task, and then our agents just go off and triage it and get it done. And then finally, we have the workspace. So everything we build ends up in a workspace for that particular agent. So if we build something with Claude, it goes in the workspace over here, right? If we build something with Hermes, it goes inside the workspace over here as well. Like if we go to Hermes Mixture of Agents, we have a full workspace of all our builds with Hermes agent over here. Pretty cool. And everything is saved in one place so we don't lose anything. Everything is easy to track and come back to. You might also say, well, do I have to code this whole dashboard myself? Well, for me personally, when I was getting started with this, I would just go over to Claude and ask Claude to build it, right? And this is something I spent a long time building. But to get started, you can just go straight to Claude. You can go to Hermes Agent, ask it to build it for you. And then we have the memory vault as well, right? So this is using Obsidian, and I don't organize this myself, right? So it looks beautiful, it's super organized, but I'm not organizing it myself. I'm getting my agents to do it for me. And the vault means that your agent never starts cold, it never forgets memory about you. This is a layer a lot of people skip, but it's the one that separates really like just a chat or a basic agent from an operating system, because without memory, every session is like a first date. You have to re-explain yourself, your preferences, your projects hundreds of times a year. It's just annoying, right? And it's the reason a lot of people use AI agents and the output feels generic. So the memory layer is embarrassingly simple. It's just a folder of plain text notes that your agents read before working and write to after finishing. I use Obsidian. It's free. It's open source. You can plug it into your Agent OS and visualize it in the memory galaxy like this. And it has details about me and who I am. It has my decision logs. It has daily logs about what I do. And the result is, if I say, like, what are some good keywords to rank for when it comes to SEO? It knows all of my websites, all the content we produced, and then can just give me super personalized suggestions. And that works for anything you want to automate. So before, my agents lived in different windows. Every morning I have to re-explain myself. You using ChatGPT, but then you have to Claude. It doesn't understand anything about you. And it's kind of like re-explaining yourself to a goldfish, right? And jobs would only run there whilst I sit there watching them. Whereas with the Kanban board and Paperclip, the jobs can run 24/7 without me. Then I stopped worrying about individual agents and built the agent OS. And now Hermes runs a full mission control with a button for every job. If I want to create videos, I just go to this section and type in what I want to build. If I want to do some SEO, I just go over here and deploy the content, right? Pretty simple and easy. For example, we actually created this article this morning, and this is basically set up on our website, ready to go, right? We have, for example, the memory system. that works whenever we need to, right? And this is an example of the SEO blogs that we create. So you can see it's fully formatted. I don't have to log into my websites. I can't even log into my websites anymore. I just give it to my agent and it does all the work for me. So it's ready to go. And so most people are collecting agents, but operators build the OS. The old way is that you chase every new model launch, install, play, abandon. You re-explain everything every session, 10 tools, 0 systems. And when the model changes, you start over from scratch. Super messy. With the new way of having an agent operating system like you can see right here, well, you build the 3 layers at once. Models become swappable parts in a machine that keeps your context, your buttons, your history. If a new model drops, it's just a drop down change and it inherits everything: your memory, your mission control, your running jobs. The system compounds, whereas before the tools never really did. So for example, if we have a look at Fusion, Fusion just launched Sakana Fugu Ultra 1.1. We plugged it in today. Super easy. It took about 2 minutes. So if you want this whole system, I mean, you could build it yourself, but you want to get mine, it's inside the AI profit boarding. Some people say, well, I should wait until the models settle down before building anything like this. The models will never settle, right? That's the point of the 3 layers. The OS is a part that doesn't change. You build it once, and every future model upgrade just becomes a drop down change instead of a fresh start. And the problem is, like, waiting is just going to make you fall behind everyone else who's building something like this. Like, every time I use this, it improves, it gets better, it improves every single day, right? And then other people say, well, this only makes sense for a real tech business, but you can use this. We've got so many members inside the Air Profit Boardroom, agency owners, coaches, ecom founders. We've got people using this for personal agentic operating systems. Like, if your week contains repeated jobs, you have exactly the business this is for, right? The OS doesn't care what industry the buttons belong to. And also, you might say, well, this uses a lot of tokens, but we have, for example, free Claude code plugged in with free models. We have the local agent engine over here. We have the free AI coder. So you don't need to worry about tokens or how much it costs or anything like that, right? And so with this system, you learn how to become an operator and not someone who chases like shiny objects and gets distracted all the time. If you want all the systems that we've got, you can get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. Inside there, you can get access to our Agent OS. Just go to the classroom and then new daily updates, and you'll find the Agent OS system over here. And then we add new tutorials all the time. But if you want the Agent OS system, you can grab the zip file and we update it regularly, right? So you can update it and grab the latest updates whenever you want. You can also go inside the community, ask questions, and there's always people online 24/7 to help you. Plus, I will personally answer those questions every single day for you as well, right? Like, if you check out my profile in school, I don't miss a day, right? Every single day, I'm just locked in, helping you as much as I possibly can. And the reason that I do this is because I'm so dedicated to helping people inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Inside the classroom, you can get access to all of my best training. So if you're a complete beginner, you go from beginner to expert over here. If you want a really in-depth training on this sort of stuff, we've got a full 1-hour course on how to build an agent OS. And then inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coaching calls, get help and support in real time. And inside the map, you can meet people in your local area who use an agent operating systems like you, right? Wherever you are, you can find people locally near you who are building with this stuff. So hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. Some people as well will ask, like, does this come with APIs or are they included inside the system? So you plug in your own CLIs, right? And that way you can use the subscriptions you already have and it doesn't cost you anything extra. And if you don't have any subscriptions, no problem. You can use the free AI coders. And then, for example, you can use OmniRoot or NimeRouter or any other free API with this whole system. And you can use local models as well. And then other people say, well, do I have to build this from scratch? But actually, no, because you can just grab the zip file right here and just install it. You just get your agent to set it up for you. If you want to use, for example, like any of these systems, you just go into the chat and give it a prompt, right? So if you want to prompt any of these, you just go inside Claude here and just give it a prompt, which means you're ready to go. And it also has systems for sub agents. So if you go to the paperclip section here, you can have a full system with sub agents, different agents managing each other. So it's fully autonomous. We also have the group chat here where we can speak to our agents and they just come back and they can bounce ideas off us as well. And one of the things that I love about this is I can use it personally for my agency. So, for example, I have a SEO business. We can use a system like this to generate content for any of our websites. We can use the memory system to store information about any of our clients or our agency or any of our processes. It has information about all the agents, the people I work with, the companies, the projects. You can see, for example, Goldie Agency is floating around right there and has information about everything inside my agency. So if you're an agency, works really well, but any sort of business this works with as well. So thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Feel free to get the Agent OS. Daly says, thanks. This is really neat. Thank you. Stephanie says, I want to learn AI so bad. Come join us in the AI Profit Boardroom. We'll see you inside there. Steffi says, I want to learn AI so bad as well. Yeah, we've got tons of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom on how to do that. Philip says, got more of a business question. Been seeing a lot of ads. Um, because my actual SEO agency is actually bigger and more proven than my AI community. So, and also my agency runs itself. So it's just a case of like, we can run ads and then we can basically fill our team's pipeline. Thoughts on Anya's 2.5 flash model? Might just check it out actually. I'll test it out later. Might be something I do tomorrow or something like that. Put that on my notes. Thank you. Does Opus 4.8 seem to take more tokens than you'd normally see? I actually don't use it, but you can use the token minimization playbooks that I've shown today, and then you can save a lot of tokens with that. Do you show how to create SEO offers? Yes. So if you go to the classroom here, and then you go to the agency section, agency course, you can learn how to create your own offer. We've got a full training on that, on like offer building and that sort of thing. So you can grab it inside this. In fact, the first thing we actually talk about is offers and how to build them. So we've got a really good setup for that. Stephanie says, I've got a company. I need to know how to get clients. So we actually have a full agency course inside the AI Profit Boardroom, which you can see over here. And it's a full 6-week masterclass based on what's working for me. So you can grab the full system right here and learn exactly how to get more clients for your agency. So if you want to learn how to get more clients, how to generate more leads, etc., all my best playbooks and systems are inside here. And we also show you how to manage your clients as well. So we have Claude Obsidian V2 that's just dropped. So Claude Obsidian, which is a free open source GitHub repo, just dropped a huge free update, and it gives Claude a perfect memory system now. So you can drop a file in a folder and you are done. Your AI reads it, connects it, and remembers it forever. Everything. You can ask it anything about your business, it answers from your own notes. You don't need to repeat yourself anymore. There's no more starting from scratch every morning. And your Claude is about to get 100 times more useful no matter who you are. And the one setting most people miss changes everything. So stick with me to the end because I'm going to show you exactly what that is. Now, if you're not familiar with Claude Obsidian, let me walk you through it. It's actually from a fellow AI influencer, Daniel Agrici. So shout out to him for the amazing update right here. And basically, what this allows you to do is you now have a setup where you can build an Obsidian knowledge base that becomes more useful every time you use it. Okay. And so if you're wondering, okay, what is Claude Obsidian? Well, Claude Obsidian is like a free open source plugin for Claude Code, right? It gives Claude one job it never had before, which is keeping a real knowledge base. Now, if you want to see an example of that, you can see it right here. And so it's not like chat history, it's not a notes app, it's a living wiki of plain markdown files on your computer. So you can drop sources into an inbox folder, and Claude reads them, links them, files them, and remembers where every fact comes from. I actually get my agents to update this directly for me. I don't have to manage it myself. And then as we zoom out, we can see that we get like thousands of memories running inside a beautiful memory galaxy. And this is using Obsidian, which is a famous free notes app, which becomes like the beautiful window onto it, right? And so the graph is a Claude Obsidian vault the moment it's born. So this is pretty powerful. Now, the reason for this is like for me personally, AI just kept forgetting my business. Every session started the same way. I'd re-explain what I'm doing, how I like to work, what my projects are, and the knowledge existed, but it was like scattered across chats, notes, dashboards, apps, and nothing really connected to it. And so when an AI answered from memory, I couldn't really tell if like it was actually understanding who I am or anything. Sometimes it would just be super generic and fluffy. Then I gave Claude an Obsidian Vault to cite, and now I can drop a document into a folder and it becomes linked on its own, right? So when I ask a question, the answer points back into my notes. And when the Vault doesn't know something, it says so instead of making it up. And so you can have this too. It literally takes like 10 minutes to set this up. And so the reason that I find a big problem with these AIs is like they're all scattered, right? So for example, you got ChatGPT somewhere, you got Claude somewhere, you got Hermes somewhere else, and they don't link together. And that's why you want something like Claude Obsidian. So there's a big goldfish problem. And here's what nobody tells you about using AI every day. It's like you're generating more knowledge than any human in history, but you're keeping almost none of it, right? So that brilliant answer you got from last week was buried in a chat you'll never scroll back to. And the research you did last month is sitting in a note with no source, no links, no idea if it's still true. And every morning, your AI just kind of wakes up as a goldfish. So every morning, you reteach it everything about you. And that costs you time, it costs you energy. It's a real mess. Now, if you want to get this system, it's called Claude Obsidian and it's available on GitHub. So this is the free setup right here, as you can see. So it's an open source project on GitHub, MIT license, as you can see. But the main point is that really what you want is something that improves every time you use it, right? And this is something I call the compounding vault, right? So there's 3 layers and each one feeds to the next. So layer number 1 is a vault, right? It's a normal folder of markdown files with an inbox. It's yours, local, portable. And Obsidian renders it as a living graph. Then you've got layer 2, which is librarian. So Claude Obsidian's 15 skills, for example, like capture, connect, answer, clean. There's one rule under every of them, which is every claim keeps its source. And then you've got the mission control. So you've got the agent operating system, and the plugin writes every Claude session. The memory galaxy shows your whole second brain as stars that connect together. So if we go to the agent OS over here, we've got this memory section. Every memory connects to each other. It's automatically updated. So you can see, for example, 19 minutes ago, this was updated automatically by my AI agents. And this just links together beautifully inside one system that all works together. And it's a positive feedback loop where you capture, you ground it, so every claim keeps its source, you connect it, so pages link together in a graph, and then you use it. So you get cited answers, so you don't need to re-explain yourself ever again. And if you look at the old way was like 5 hours a week of you being the librarian, right? You copy and paste answers into random notes. You explain your business to AI every single morning. You search 4 apps to find one fact or one thing you created before. You trust answers you can't actually check or re-research, right? Notes pile up with no links or sources, and 3 months later, you got a bunch of memories or context scattered across multiple apps that doesn't even link together. With this system, takes you literally like 2 minutes a week. In fact, your agents just do it for you. And then you drop sources into one inbox folder. Claude reads the links and files them all on its own. Every claim keeps the pointer to its original source. You ask once, you get an answer with citations into your notes. The vault flags what's unverified instead of bluffing. And 3 months later, you get a knowledge galaxy that answers for you, right? Not even 3 months later, within like 7 days, you've got a beautiful knowledge graph that looks like this. Like I started this about 3 months ago and it looks beautiful. But honestly, if you start this week and you just ask your agents to start building into Obsidian for you, it's really going to start working straight away. Right. So let me show you an example of this in action. So what we actually did over here is you can see inside our Hermes section of the agent OS using our agent, and it doesn't have to be with Claude, right? It's called Claude Obsidian, but you could use this with any agent. You could teach any agent this skill. So I could say, knowing what you know about me, what are some amazing personalized SEO keywords that I could create content around? And it looks through the Obsidian Vault. It has all these memories about me. It gives me super personalized ideas for SEO keywords. No explanation of context, no needing to repeat myself, no getting frustrated that it doesn't remember everything, right? It's got it all right there and it's perfectly optimized for me. So it's super, super powerful. And so this is a really good system. Now, there's some pretty cool stuff inside the plugin that you can install. But basically, you want to install the plugin, create your own vault, and then start the loop. And if you want this like pre-built, you can get it inside the Agent OS. Link in the comments description, or go to theairprofitable.com. And you can see, for example, we've got like the front door, right? So Claude Obsidian Wiki. This checks your vault's health and routes you to the right workflow. You got the librarian, which turns all of your inbox into like linked pages. You have the honest oracle, so answers questions from vault evidence. These are all different skills that you can use with this free plugin, which is pretty cool. And there's, for example, even the map maker, and this builds Obsidian canvas boards from your wiki with visual maps of a topic, a project, a client. So your knowledge is seen as a whiteboard generated for you automatically with the Obsidian Canvas skill. There's even, for example, the historian, right? And this rolls weeks of vault activity into traceable summaries, what came in, what changed, what confirmed. So your knowledge base writes its own change log. And then you add a new note, it gets routed, and you can see how it works. Now, I actually like to use Para for organizing my agent OS, right? So we've got projects, we've got areas. It's just a system of like organizing your whole setup. I actually call it the infinite context engine, and we've got more training inside the Airport for Boredom on that. But the main point here is like your agents understand everything about you. So let's talk about 6 ways this actually changes your week. Number 1, you've got a business brain now, right? This system can ingest your offers, your SOPs, your client notes. Every future session with any of your agents inside the Agent OS knows your business from cold. Right? Then you have the research. So every report and article you read becomes linked pages, findable and cited months later even. Right? After that, you have the content vault. You have the competitor intel. You have even like a course companion. And you can hand this over to your team as well, so they can use your AI agents as well. Right? So you might also say, I already have notes, another system will make it worse. This doesn't replace your notes, it just adopts them and organizes them, right? It's literally just like making sure that your notes are actually useful. Other people say, well, AI will mess up my knowledge base. But the thing is, AI is better at organizing Markdown files than you are, right? It's better at understanding Markdown than you are. It's better at organizing but imagine how much admin it would take to organize 545 memories like we've got inside this vault right here. It would take a lot of work. Whereas, for example, if you use this system, it saves so much time and admin. So that's basically it. And bear in mind, the skill is free. The Obsidian app is free as well. So you can do this for free, like you can see. And the thing that I would say is like, your context shouldn't disappear. It should compound. It should improve every single day. If you're not doing that, then you're falling behind. So if you want to get this full system set up, ready to go, you can get that inside the Airport for Boredom. Link in the comments description, or go to theairprofitable.com. You can grab my Agent OS with a Memory Galaxy plugged in and Obsidian plugged in. I've shown you Claude Obsidian 2, which has some awesome skills built inside it. If you're on the Agent OS, you can grab the zip file over here. If you want to learn more about how I organize with my agents this whole setup, you can grab the Infinite Context Engine, which is my full system to give your agent a memory it never forgets. You can also post questions inside the community if you need help or support. I personally answer them. Plus, we've always got people online ready to help whenever you need it. And then inside the calendar, you can jump on weekly coach calls, share your screen, ask questions. We also add new tutorials, and we've got a complete beginner to expert course over here. Inside the map, you can meet people in your local area who are building with AI agents like you. And this is all available inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the aiprofitboardroom.com. Thanks for watching. All right, peeps, that is all I have time for today. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. I will see you on the next one. Thanks for the great questions. I've answered every single question, every single comment. I hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. I'll see you on the next one.